Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your continued support. Now, when the British Broadcasting Corporation released their very shocking documentary that indicated that there was a possibility of a KDF, to be very precise, a Kenya Army sharpshooter getting involved in the deaths and shooting of our Gen Zs on June 24th last year, people reacted very sharply and very angrily. There were leaders that were called upon to give their views. People like the Member of Parliament of Embakasi East constituency, Babu Wino, was there. We had people like Boniface Mwangi, the activist. I saw Hanifa, and several. I even saw the chairperson of the Law Society of Kenya, Madam Faith. But there is one name that was missing. That is the name of Kasmuel McOure. You all remember that during the Gen Z protest, Kasmuel McOure was the face of Gen Z. He was the epitome of this brave youth. And at some point when people looked at him, people had even started telling him that he could even be the Gen Z president, because sometimes he was leading at the front. He was very eloquent. He used to articulate the image, the intention, and the policies of these Gen Zs. He used to say that Gen Zs were tribeless, leaderless, and partyless. At some point, we saw him being chased, in the CBD, and he was protected even by the youths themselves. He was being told he could be the target of the Kenya Kwanza government. And so when this documentary was released and he was not seen anywhere, he was not even called upon, at least to give his views on what happened, Kenyans are really shocked. And even as I do this video, Casmuel is trending at number one, trending at number one, followed by John Kaboi, I think is the name of the civilian guy that was giving orders of shoot to kill during the Gen Zs, and BBC is also there. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I wonder why, and people are wondering aloud, why do you think Kasmuel McOure was left out? I want us to try and dig deep. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. I keep on requesting for the subscription because it builds the channel, it builds a family that grows together. And I want to thank you, especially those whom we started with from zero up to this moment. I want to thank you so very much. Don't forget to like our videos. Liking the video is very important. It helps the video goes viral, it reaches many audience, and don't forget to share it if you can. So ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at some of these pictures of Kasmuel McOure. At some point, Kasmuel is seen there after the Gen Z's protest subsided, after Raila had joined hands with William Ruto, and Gen Zs were being followed one after the other, they were being kidnapped. Kasmuel McOure joined Raila Odinga, and you can see that picture there. They were together, and abruptly he started advocating and defending very articulately the ODM and the broad-based government. And he has defended it severally, saying that we cannot continue to be perpetual activists. He's even saying that some activists are earning money from it, and he's saying that after playing activism, you need to look for a solution. You need to identify a party somehow resonates with your policies. And he chose ODM. Then we also saw him with William Ruto there. You have seen the picture there. At some point he was seen with Osoro. All those are the defenders of William Samoei Ruto, defenders of the broad-based government, a government that many feel betrayed the Gen Zs, especially this broad-based after Raila at the height of the killing of Gen Zs. You remember how Raila went to, that was McOure, where was it, where it was being said that there were mass burial. Some bodies had been found there, and there was suspicion that those were bodies of Gen Zs. Miguna was tweeting that he got wind that very many youths were killed in Githurai. Others were saying that they were being killed and placed in KDF lorries. Very many things were going on, and Raila joined hands. So Kasmuel McOure being seen with Raila, with Ruto, with Osoro, he lost faith, or people lost faith in him. And I remember one of the very last, if it's not the penultimate, then it is the last uh, demonstration. Casmuel was booed, he was rejected, meaning that he had lost touch with the Gen Zs because he had joined Raila Odinga. So why do you think he was left out? Because I thought Casmuel would be this person who would also articulate, who would also say what happened. I think number one, is now being seen as part of the government, and this government is the one that is being accused of killing Gen Zs. If you see those who are being questioned, those who are giving their views, there isn't anyone who was part of the government. Either they were activists or opposition. Like Madam Faith there has been in the forefront trying to rescue Gen Zs. Whenever they were arrested, Madam Faith will lead her lawyers to try and advocate for their release, advocate for their freedom. And so they stand, even if they speak, you will feel them. You will see that these are the people who are involved in the struggle. I didn't see any religious leaders, because at some point the religious leaders left their doors wide open for Gen Zs when they were being tear gassed. So Kasmuel McOure being part of the government, I think the BBC decided he was not fit to be there. He could not give genuine opinion because of his involvement with Raila, with Ruto, and with Osoro. Osoro is the chief whip at the National Assembly. And in line with that, I think BBC just felt that this man would be very economical with the truth. You can't have your cake and eat it at the same time, or you eat it and have it at the same time. He could not serve two masters. People are looking for the truth. And I think the journalist from the BBC just realized that it was going to be very difficult for Kasmuel McOure. He would try to defend the government, at the same time trying to defend Gen Zs. I think it would be very difficult for him. I mean, how would he even stand? Was he going, if he was given that chance, was he going to start by defending the Gen Zs, then defending the government? I believe he was going to justify maybe the killing. So he would just tell the BBC that now we need to forget, it is in the past, something of that kind. And he's being seen as a man who has also betrayed Gen Zs, because some of them were killed. So they felt he would be very economical with the truth because he's now part of the government. The document or the documentary would have lost credibility. You see, the document must be seen to have some authority. This is BBC. This is not some of the very local or vernacular stations that can be influenced. So if they had included, or had they included Kasmuel McOure, people would have seen them as people are also playing politics. And some people would have, it would have really attracted some speculations. Because when Kasmuel McOure speaks, people would have started saying, maybe William Ruto has paid BBC. Why is Casmuel defending the government? That very document, as authoritative as it is, it would have lost some credibility. People would have started poking holes and casting aspersions. So he had to be left out, despite the fact that he played a very pivotal role. He switched camps. So I think because of that credibility, when you see Madam Faith there, you see someone like Babu Owino, who went down and even spoke to the protesters and told them, you can come in, this is your parliament. When you see Boniface Mwangi, someone who was even arrested, he has suffered, then when he speaks, you really connect him to the demonstrations. And I think they fit well. Babu Owino fits well. But Casmuel sweet camp, and therefore he could not be there. And I cannot rule out the possibility of Kasmuel being contacted and he declines because now he was between a rock and a hard place. He's there, he has been absorbed by the ODM and is needed to speak the truth. I think it was going to be very difficult for him. For example, how would he defend the fact that after Gen Zs were killed and he was at the forefront, then now he's with the government that is being accused of killing them, he's with the ODM that is part of the broad-based government? I think it would be very difficult for him. Either he was contacted and he declined, or he was just ignored. And for the good, for his own good, I think it was the best decision to ignore him because it was going to give him difficult times, or it was going to even make it more difficult for the investigation. And finally, this thing was supposed to be a secret, sort of. Casmuel, if at all he was called, he was going to reveal to the president, to Raila, that we had been summoned or we were requested to give our views. So perhaps it was kept as a secret away from him as much as possible so that it doesn't become a traitor. But it raises eyebrows and people are wondering why. Many people, by the way, are celebrating that he was left out because he was part and parcel of that demonstration. But you can't have two masters, you can't serve them at the same time. He has chosen to be in ODM and he says he has no regrets. Let him try his hands there. Maybe he's got reasons why he's there. Maybe that is that's the part that the bread is buttered most. He's got every right. He's a Kenyan. We wish him all the best.